Hi, it's Celeste, your canary in the coal mine. Today I want to talk about how I fixed my digestion. So most of my life I had a lot of bloating and gas and constipation, and I had no idea that it was associated with the foods I was eating or the way my body was not digesting the foods. It turns out that the bloating and the gas is kind of like a fermentation process. In other words, food has gotten further on down your digestive tract than it should have in a relatively undigested form, and therefore it's like fermenting in your colon. So anyway, today I have better digestion than I had probably 20 years ago. And the reason why is, I believe, two reasons. One is I actually eat a lot of my meals from my blender. I make a lot of smoothies. Now, they don't all have to be sweet smoothies. They can be like a thick soup kind of thing. They can have, but since I'm eating a lot of vegetables and some fruit and nuts and seeds, I can put all that content into the smoothies. And the blender is pre-chewing my food for me. I have to admit that I don't chew my food very well. I give it 5 or 6 crunches and then it's down the hatch. And the body needs much more chewing than that. And most of us are too busy or too unconscious to chew as much as the body would actually like you to chew up your food. So this way, the blender is chewing up my food for me. Plus, it's a really fast way to make a meal and start getting it down into my system. I mean, I can make and eat my breakfast in less than 10 minutes. So that really works for me. Another way that I have really improved my digestion is by using digestive enzymes. Okay, this is a big issue in our culture because so many of us eat practically 100% cooked or processed foods. Well, it turns out that in nature puts into food the right enzymes to digest that particular food with. But the problem is that once the temperature of something goes over about 105 degrees, or I've heard as high as 120, the enzymes are killed and they no longer have the ability to digest the food. If you think about the difference between like raw food, and if you leave it out for several days, it starts to rot and ferment and so forth if it's not connected to the ground and still growing. But you can have some food that's been processed in a way that it can sit on a shelf for years and not ferment or digest itself. So what we need to do when we have a culture where we've mostly eaten cooked foods all of our life, and we may still be eating it, is to supplement every single time you eat with some digestive enzymes. Now, I personally use 2 different kinds of digestive enzymes. I kind of alternate back and forth between them. Years ago, when I first started using digestive enzymes, I tried many different brands, and I kind of homed in on the ones that always keep my system settled down, unless I forget to take them. So I have one cheaper brand that only has about 10 digestive enzymes in it, and the other more expensive brand that has about 20 digestive enzymes, but you have to take less pills of the more expensive ones, so I don't really think there's much of a cost difference. But the point is, with every single thing I eat, I pop at least 1 or 2 of those enzymes into my mouth. And what you need to look for when you're shopping for enzymes is, first of all, you need the 3 big enzymes that digest fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. And those are lipase digests fats, amylase digests carbs, and protease digests protein. So minimally, whatever you buy has to have those 3 in it, otherwise it won't do a complete job. Now, some other things you might see on the label that are pretty helpful are betaine HCl, which adds a little more acidity to the digestive process. And I know you're probably saying, oh, no, I've got way too much acidity. I'm always taking antacids. Well, there's a thought system that says that it's the antacids that are causing you to not digest your food. You need the acid to digest the food. So, as an experiment on yourself, you might just want to see what would happen if you started taking some enzymes and see if your digestion gets better. And if it has betaine HCl in it, and that works for you, so much the better. So another thing that you might find in digestive enzymes is lactase, which is the enzyme that digests lactose, which is the milk sugar. Now, I personally have pretty much sworn off dairy because that was one of the big causes of bloating and gas in me, was undigested dairy. I had no idea I was lactose intolerant. This was decades ago, and people didn't even know what lactose intolerance was. So, but I found that when I didn't eat yogurt and milk and other dairy products, I felt a lot better, and I didn't get that big distended stomach and all that pain in my lower left side. So another enzyme you might see on the bottle would be cellulase, which helps digest the more fibrous, like the cell walls and the more fibrous things in your diet. So those are just some of the things that might be on the label, but there might be a whole lot more. And you know, we're all different, so you need to find what works for you. But I have a really strong belief that if you start using digestive enzymes with every meal, especially if you're like over 40 and your digestion has started to go downhill, you might find big relief by using digestive enzymes with every single thing you eat. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, was 2 ways that I have made my digestion work better. And now I have almost no symptoms ever unless I go out for a big meal someplace, eat some stuff that I shouldn't be eating, and forget to take my enzymes. Then I might have some symptoms. But if I eat a big meal like that and it's got some stuff in it I shouldn't have, but if I remember to take my enzymes and maybe take double or triple the dose, sometimes, you know, it works anyway. Because it's the enzymes that you need, and it's the enzymes that are killed by the cooking and processing that you need to replace so that your body gets what it needs, that it would have gotten from natural foods in nature that it isn't getting in today's food environment. So that's what I wanted to tell you about today, was mostly about enzymes, a little bit about blended food. And I hope that this helps you fix some of your digestive problems, and that in the future you'll feel much better, and I want you to stay well. So thanks.